It's Wisdom Wednesday, where you drive the agenda. In this segment of the Sales Gravy podcast, where listeners bring Jeb their biggest questions and he gives his best answers. These answers come straight from the trenches because just like you, Jeb is out there prospecting, selling, closing deals, and leading his sales team every single day. Now, before we get started, some fantastic news. The date and location for the next Outbound conference will be announced very soon. Outbound is the biggest, baddest conference in sales. And if you haven't been, this is the one to add to your bucket list. Tickets are extremely limited, and it sells out every single time. Right now, you can get on the waiting list and be first in line for early bird ticket discounts at outboundconference.com. Again, that's outboundconference.com. All right. Let's take the next caller. Next up on the show is Brian Kemsky.
Jeb, there's a percentage of people that I work with that go through the process, meet with them. You go through a proposal, they seem like they're interested, and then they go off into the witness protection program. I understand you're gonna have a percentage of that, but can you make some suggestions or some things to look for to avoid that? I want to get out of that game if I can. Maybe it's not the case, but maybe some input.
Okay, so where in your process do they typically, like, you find that they go into witness protection or they start ghosting you?
Well, after they get your information.
Okay, after they get your information. Okay, great. So let's think about this for a second. When you give them your information, what are you giving them?
What am I giving them? Like specifications, pricing, the things that are important to them. I'm giving them my time. I'm not following.
Okay, I'm going to show you. I get that. So what is this?
$100 bill.
$100 bill. Okay. What would you do for $100? I mean, if we were together and I said, hey, Brian, man, I'd love some McDonald's. Tell you what, there's one down there in the corner. I'll give you $100 to go get me a Big Mac. You keep the change.
I honestly wouldn't be interested.
How about $200?
Okay, maybe.
Okay, maybe. Well, I mean, I got a whole pocket full of $100 bills. So tell me what your number is.
$500.
Okay, $500. You'll go down the corner, get me a Big Mac. You keep the change, right? Okay.
Deal.
Why would you do that?
Well, you feel like there's an exchange and you're getting value.
You're getting value, right? So the thing is that in a sales conversation, right, that information that you're giving them has value. Giving it to them is just the same as giving them a $100 bill or $500. You gave them value. And once you give them value and they have all the value, they have no more reason to talk to you. You gave away all your value. And we call that leverage. So what happens is when you give away your leverage for free, you typically lose all your power. So let me walk you backwards. Okay, just wanted to make that illustration for you because what happens is if you give your prices, that's why you should never email a proposal. You email a proposal, you're dead in the water because now they have everything they wanted. The reason that they hung around so long is that they were waiting for you to give you all their information. Like if you take them through one step of the sales process, the next step of the sales process, the next step of the sales process, and then you give them a proposal, they got no more reason to meet with you. Okay?
Right.
So think about it like this. When you're in a sales conversation, the party that has the most power is typically your prospect, the stakeholders. And the reason is that power is derived from alternatives. They have more alternatives than you do. So what I mean by that is if there was a hurricane in Miami and all the power's out and you're the only guy selling ice, you have all the power because there's no other options. But in most cases in the commercial world, you've got competitors out there. And they've always had the option to just do nothing. Because they have more options than you do, they have more power. The only way that you're able to level the playing field is through leverage. It's through something that you have that they want because it is of value to them. Think, you're not willing to go down to the corner and get me a Big Mac for $100, but you'll do it for $5, right? As soon as I've got that leverage, you have all kinds of options. You can do everything with your time, but at $500, you'll do what I want you to do. So in other words, I'm able to get you, the person that has more power in this conversation, to dance to my tune because I've got something that you want and you're willing to do something for me to get it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we look at it that way, right? Number one is they've got more power than you do, which is why they ghost you and you chase them. The only way to get them to change the way that they're behaving is that you have something that they want more, and that is information. The one thing that gets people to buy from you, right, is that they're motivated to buy from you and they feel like they don't have any other options. What we're doing with the leverage is we're forcing them to walk through our sales process. Like your process should be built around neutralizing any perceived options that they have and building a relationship with them so that they trust you and they want to do business with you. If the buyer has all the options, right? If they feel like they have the power, why would they do any of that? They just go, hey, Brian, give me your proposal. And then you get the proposal and they disappear. And you go, well, I want to meet with you. They go, no, you can't meet with me until you get the proposal. And you give them a proposal and they disappear. Think about RFPs. You get an RFP comes in, they ask for all this information. You fill out the information, you send it to them, you never hear from them again. So if I get an RFP, I go, nope, I'm not filling all that information out, not until you meet with me. And if they want it bad enough, they'll meet with me. And if they meet with me, then I can start changing the shape of things. What I'm able to do at that moment is say, okay, we need to meet for a first-time appointment. Then I need to meet multiple stakeholders. Then I need to do deeper discovery. Along the way, you're building a relationship with people. Like there's human things happening here. And you're asking them questions and you're helping them think and you're building a business case. And so what you want to do is that when you give a proposal, you want that proposal to be a closing meeting. You want it to be a meeting where you're getting a yes or no. Now, in super complex deals and enterprise deals, you're rarely going to be in a situation where you're going to hammer down and close the deal in the final moments, and they are going to walk away, right? Essentially, what you want to do is use your leverage to bend them to your process that allows you to build a business case that forces them to make a decision to do business with you because they can't see a better option out there. And as long as you're giving your leverage away for free, they're going to keep walking away. As long as you give it away without them building a relationship, they're going to keep walking away. Now, if you use your leverage to bend their will back to your sales process, which means, by the way, that you have to have the fortitude to walk away from people who aren't willing to do that. Like if you go, hey, this is how we're going to do this, and they go, no, you got to be able to walk away. Go back to Fanatical Prospecting Bootcamp. The entire reason why you were in Fanatical Prospecting Bootcamp is so that you can fill up your pipeline so that you have lots of options so that if one party's not going to play, you can leave them because you got 10 other that are waiting there because you went out and got them, right? But when they're willing to play, then, and this is important, as you start going through the process, what you're looking for is engagement. So as you start asking questions, are they leaning in? Are they willing to put in the effort? And if they are, then you keep moving forward. And if they're not, then you have to realize, I'm just going to go put a lot of work in. I'm going to do a proposal and they're never going to call me back. They're never going to work with me. And we all do that. Look, I did that this fall in November. I spent 12 hours putting together a proposal that I knew in the back of my mind I had no probability of closing because I didn't do all the things I'm telling you to do. And I gave it away for free and they sure enough disappeared. And I knew that. Like I know it, but I got to go learn that lesson about once or twice a year in order for things to work out for me. As you're looking at the people that are ghosting you, there are probably patterns and signs other than you giving your leverage away for free that they were never into this anyway. They weren't really working with you. But if they are, and then you step them off through all the steps in your sales process, it allows you to take advantage of something called the investment effect. And we all get this, right? So things that human beings have to put effort into, we value more. So every step that they take in your sales process with you, the more they value getting to an outcome. Even, by the way, if that outcome isn't the outcome you want, they'll at least not ghost you. Like they feel an obligation to say, hey, this isn't going to work for us right now, but we really appreciate taking time with you. And then you can learn from it. But it all comes back to that one thing, right? $500 will get you to get me a Big Mac, right? What are they willing to do for your information? And hold the line at that. Don't give your leverage away for free.
I like that. Thank you.
I'm going to wrap this up in a moment with some final thoughts. But first, if you have a question for the show, head over to salesgravy.com/ask. That's salesgravy.com/ask. One of our producers will reach out to you and get you scheduled to join Jeb on a future episode. When prospects vanish after you've delivered your proposal, it's rarely about your price. It's about your leverage. If you hand over your value too soon without earning reciprocal investment from the buyer, you lose your power in the deal. And just like Jeb said in this episode, if someone's willing to grab a Big Mac for $500, it's because the value motivates the behavior. Your information, your time, your expertise, and proposal has real value. Protect it. Force engagement by walking your prospects through your sales process step by step, and don't hesitate to walk away from those who won't match your effort. That's why your pipeline matters. It gives you options so that you're not beholden to the one who ghosts you. Hold the line, make them earn it. And when you're down on your final call block, tired, frustrated, ready to call it a day, remember this. Push through the resistance, hold the line, and make one more call. This is Jeb Blount Jr., and I'll see you next time on the Sales Gravy Podcast.
Hey, I'm doing a happy dance because you watched this video. Make sure that you click like and subscribe so that you never miss one of our amazing sales training videos.